Hey, Andy here from builderhottub.com. In this video, I'm going to talk about whether you should use a sand filter or a cartridge filter. So let's go ahead and take a look. So, sand filter or cartridge filter, that is the question. So they're two very different technologies that obviously do the same thing. They're part of your filtration system and they help to keep your hot tub or your pool nice and clean. So which one should you use? Well, before we get onto that, it's always a great opportunity for me to say, please do subscribe to the channel, hit that notification icon to be notified when my videos go live. I do 2 long form videos just like this every single week and a whole bunch of shorts. And everything on my channel focuses on DIY hot tubs, plunge pools, parts, pools, pretty much everything in between. Right, so with that out the way, sand filter or cartridge filter? Well, I'm going to start with a hot tub. So if you've got a plastic shell hot tub, you will almost certainly have a cartridge filter. This isn't something that you're going to want to upgrade or change to a sand filter. They're there for a reason. They're there for convenience. You may have 1, you may have 2 or 3 in there. Depends on the size of your plastic shell tub. It isn't something you're going to change and you are going to stick with that cartridge filter. Now, if you are building your own DIY hot tub, should you go cartridge filter or sand filter? Well, there's a couple of things that you need to consider. Firstly, if you're putting in a dual speed pump that's going to do both your circulation and your jets, then you're going to want to use a hot tub cartridge filter. Now, the reason being is the hot tub cartridge filters actually have built-in bypasses. So what that means is when the jets go on to high or the pump goes on to high for the jets, that bypass opens inside of the filter, it allows more water through and it doesn't impact the power of your jets. So the actual cartridge filters that are designed for hot tubs usually have this bypass in there because with hot tubs, it's all about the flow on the jets. If you don't have enough flow on your jets, you're not going to get the big, strong, bubbly jets that you're looking for and it's going to be a little bit disappointing. So you've got to use the right kit for the plumbing setup that you have. Now, if you're building a hot tub and you have a separate circulation pump, then a sand filter is something that you can consider. Now, the considerations for whether you're building your own hot tub with that separate circulation pump or a swimming pool or plunge pool or cocktail pool, however you'd like to call it, the considerations are exactly the same. So let's take a look at those now. With a sand filter, the filtration of smaller particles is not quite as good as with a cartridge filter. So for example, a sand filter typically can filter down to particles around 20 microns in size, whereas a cartridge filter can actually do twice as good as that, and that can filter down to somewhere around the 10 micron level. So the smaller particles can be taken out of your water with a cartridge filter, whereas they can't with a sand filter. Now, a cartridge filter is arguably more work and maintenance than a sand filter. So for example, with a cartridge filter, you're going to need to take it out of the system every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the usage. You're going to need to apply filter cleaner, you're going to need to soak it, you're going to need to jet wash it, and then you're going to need to put it back into the system. Now, you could have 2 that you're going to swap out, but you are going to need to do that every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the usage of your pool or your hot tub. Now, with your sand filter, it's a little less involved. You're going to put the sand filter into a backwash mode. So what that's going to actually do is it's going to send the water the wrong way through the system. It's going to force it out. And generally you backwash to waste with a sand filter. So what that means is all of the dirt and particles that have been taken out of your pool or your hot tub that are caught in there and then backwashed into waste. Yes, you're going to need to top up the pool if you do that regularly, but it's a lot less work than actually using a cartridge filter, which you physically need to clean. Now, what about the lifespan? Well, the lifespan of a sand filter according to the National Swimming Pool Foundation, is around 7 years. So that's not the physical unit, that's the filter medium inside. So whether it's sand, whether it's glass, because there's new kind of cool stuff that's out there, you need to change that roughly every 7 years. Now, with a filter cartridge, it's going to be around 2 to 3 years that you're going to get out of a filter cartridge. Certainly the larger ones on our DIY built hot tubs. The smaller ones that you find in a plastic shell tub, they don't last quite as long, so you'll find that you are buying more of them more often than you would if you were on a sand filter, changing filter medium inside of that sand filter. And finally, the kind of upfront costs. Now, a sand filter without filter medium tends to be more expensive than a cartridge filter. However, that's for a hot tub. If you get to a large swimming pool, you'll also find that the filter medium and the cartridge filter are also quite expensive on a pool. So, which should you look for, or which should you opt for? Well, it's really going to boil down to your personal preference. How much maintenance, how much upfront cost you want to spend, and whether you feel that the increased filtration of a cartridge filter is going to be worth the additional maintenance to maintain the filter and keep it clean. So really, it's up to you. Hopefully this short video hasn't confused you too much. It's given you some information that you can go ahead and make that decision yourself. I hope you found this useful. As always, I really appreciate the view, and I will see you on the next video. If you've liked this video, please do like, share and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video.